Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we don't have a quorum. I now suspend the Parliament until further ringing of the bell.
As we proceed on, we ask for your goodness today as we proceed through this sitting. May you guide us and lead us to lead this great nation of yours as we proceed through this day. We ask this prayer in the name of Jesus as we proceed on with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honourable members, I acknowledge the presence in the public gallery of grade 12 students and their teachers from Mount Diamond Adventist Secondary School in the Central Province. On behalf of the National Parliament, I extend them a very warm welcome. Clerk, any petitions? Notices? Clerk.
Notice, the Minister for Mining gives notice that he shall present a bill for a net to amend the Mineral Resource Authority Act 2018.
Honourable members, question time. The Honourable Governor for New Ireland.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question is directed to the Minister for Fisheries and for the Health, Environment and Oil Palm Minister to take note. Minister, it is reported that over 200 scientists, journalists and advocates and community members across 30 countries who have campaigned and reached over 400,000 people across social media and oceanographic publications. Inner Light Foundation, Island Awareness, and East New Britain Seakeepers, all NGOs, are now conducting interviews, collecting water samples, and coordinating international scientific reports under extremely difficult situations. Minister, my question is, are you aware of the oceanic crisis occurring in wards 7 and 8, Tikana Caving District? And secondly, Minister, more than 3,000, as reported by today's News National, more than 3,451 fish from over 15 species have washed ashore, and more than 750 persons, including children, have fallen ill after contact with seawater along the coast of New Ireland. Kafkaf villages and wards 6 and 7, affected areas in Tikana LNG, have reported painful skin welts, rashes and severe itching after entering the sea. Minister, what actions have your department officials taken to investigate this unusual oceanic occurrence? And can the Honourable Minister advise his Honourable House what his department will do to assist my provincial disaster committees to contain further the outbreak and contamination? And thirdly, can the Minister allocate sufficient funds immediately to provide an alternative food supplies for our immediately affected areas, as this is not just a local environment story, but a moment where the world and Minister needs to pay attention. As the saying goes, when the coastal community loses their ocean, they lose their food, culture and safety all at once. Thank you. Speaker.
Minister of Office.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I thank the good governor of New Ireland Province for his question. We learned about this about 2 months ago through our contacts in New Ireland, and also the Treasurer Minister also gave us some pictures on it. We've been working towards it. We've done a joint response operation between Health Department, Environmental Department, together with our marine biologists and scientists all together. We hope to come up with a solution within the next week. But my response to all this is at this point of time, we have to let our people of New Ireland know not to eat that fish, especially on that side, because without the scientific data that we get, we don't know which chemical is in the fish. And if we can pinpoint that chemical, then we can let the Health Department know, and then they can have with the help of the Health Minister, get the Institute of Medical Research to come up with a solution of antidote for this type of medicine, for this type of disease that is caused by this fish. So at this point of time, it's really hard for me to tell you what chemical it is, because we're looking at all options. There's a lot of activity along that coast there with the oil palm and agriculture activities. They're looking at different types of chemicals that they're using, and they're testing. So it gives us about a week or two, and we should have a solution for you. And we also will identify which fish are affected and which fish can be eaten by our people. We'll work on a program with your government, with the disaster team there, and I will have the Minister of Health, the Minister of Environment together. We'll come up with a solution for you in the next week or so. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Oceanic.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question without notice is directed to our good Minister for Works and National Highways, and I want the Prime Minister to take note. Since December last year, 2 bridges along the Ramu Medang Highway in my district completely collapsed. These bridges are Amuye and Yanamu, close to Asas and Koropa, along the Ramu Medang Highway. There's another bridge also, the Yogia Bridge near Igirue in Ushino is almost at the brink of collapsing. Right now, they're creating a bypass for all vehicles to pass through. But this situation is causing a havoc for the traveling public. PMVs, private vehicles, including trucks, especially Mapai Transport, currently transporting heavy containers of chromite from Ramu Nickel Mine to Leh on a daily basis. And imagine when there's a rainfall and the waterways are flooded, it's complete havoc on the road, because the trucks have to be stopped for 1 to 3 days before they continue their journey. My question is, what actions is the National Works Department taking to address this issue since December? The situation demands a permanent solution and not a bypass, because it's a national highway and it's the only link to Medang that boosts the economy of Medang. If funding is allocated and contractors are secured, what time frame are we looking at, and when are they going to start building the bridges? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Works.
Deputy Speaker, I want to firstly appreciate the good question by our good member for Oceanic. Thank you, Long. Question to you, and I would like to place on record that right across our country, we've experienced unprecedented rainfall. And so we will be expecting a lot of our challenges with our infrastructure. And that is one of the strategies that we've started to discuss with all our development partners in ensuring that our compliance to climate resilience engineering is part of our best practice in terms of addressing our infrastructure with our roads and our bridges. Last year, As I've been advised, the ADB partner has provided support for us, and so that funding is made available this year, and that the challenges with some of our bridges right across our country will be addressed within this year. That is the advice that I've received. And in our budget also, for the first time, we've put in almost 40 million allocated for bridges and also for road maintenance. So I would like to assure our good member that in terms of time frame, and in particular when exactly the details of those two bridges, I will be able to provide that advice through correspondence through the good member. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Member for Kokopo.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Long recognizing all people belong Kokopo, where me fought city blame inside the country. Mr. Speaker, my question without notice to the good Minister for Civil Aviation. Na Luko Sembai Lespinis Lomilo ask him question since 2022. He coming up now. Me walk long ask him question. But before I ask my question, let me thank the Maraperoso government, this government, and the former Minister for Civil Aviation for the construction and repair of Takwa runway. We know that in New Britain, Kokopo is the most visited place in the province for conferences, and we had a problem since even got problem along runway. But today, we talk thank you, the Civil Aviation Minister, for again allowing a bigger aircraft of A220 that landed in Kokopo, Takwa, East New Britain last year. Thank you. My three questions to the Minister, and I want the Minister for Trade and Industry to take note. And my questions, again, is in relation to the proposed upgrade of redevelopment, again, to Takwa Airport under the funding support of Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. The government document indicates that the feasibility study has been completed by JICA and that the loan negotiation for the major upgrade are anticipated, but the project is yet to commence. My questions, therefore, as follows. One, to the good Minister. Can the Minister inform Parliament on the current status of Takwa Airport upgrade projects under the JICA funding arrangements? Second question, Deputy Speaker, is have the loan negotiation between the government of Papua New Guinea or JICA has been concluded? And if not, what issues are causing the delay? The third question to the good Minister is when does the government expect the project to proceed to tender and construction? Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Minister for Civil Aviation.
Thank you. I thank the Honourable Member for Kokopo. Thank you, Number 4 City Blue Umina. We want to do a lot of good things there, and also at the same time we want to upgrade and make sure that Takwa Airport gets up and allow big planes to run. Your questions that you have asked, I have some briefs here. I can give it to you, but JICA has completed an interim feasibility report incorporating only the landside terminal, RFF station, office, power and water supply, and car parks. The report has provided an interim estimate to commence the loan negotiation.
airside runway and apron extension will be undertaken by ADB loan under CADIP 3. And currently we are working on it. Question 2, last week the NEC and JICA have commenced the process of the loan with the Department of Treasury. The JICA loan will commence as soon as the scope and cost estimate is finalized and agreed by JICA and the Treasury Department. Question 3 is it's also the same as JICA loan is expected to be ready by 2027. Design and tender will take more than 12 months. Construction will well commence maybe 29-30. So CADIP 3 loan is expected in by 27. So detailed design is in progress under CADIP 2 construction and will commence in 2028. So these are some of the things that, things we wanted to see, happens very fast, but there's some certain process that needs to be done properly and complete properly so that loan can be drawn down and work can commence. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Como Hulia.
My question is in relation to Croton equity 4.27%. Now, question from me, I'm directing to the Prime Minister. My first question, when are the provincial government, landowner and especially the affected provincial governments, the HELA, Gulf provincial government, Western and the Central provincial government will receive the 4.27% equity? That's my question 1. Question 2, one amended T by managing this law, Croton 4.27% equity. Question number 3, once that Croton 4.27% equity is made available, provincial government na landowners must be separated. Putting ko into one basket, that's all na highly politicized no ka. Some local entity we looking at this year. Provincial government was in the board na, then they were manipulated. So, but my people's request, the power ground must be managed separately from the provincial government and the national government. And third question for me. Fourth question below me, one time by Section 98 become into effective. If this line but not apply law existing projects like PNG, then can you assure my people that LBSA be reviewed? It's subject to review every after 5 years, but it's overdue now. So can you assure my people and the affected all levels when you're going to schedule for agreement review? And number 4. Number 5. Well, now you may be more fuel crisis, because law, Middle East war, Namel Iran, Israel. So fuel prices by going down. Before we producing fuel low heights, now line low. Mumasayana, Highlands regions are come refuel heights. Now I'm not stop anymore. So instead of using PDL5 and producing more, stop it. Now put the PDL2 producing more. So think I come so Kumul terminal, now even go to Singapore processing lab, now come back again. One day more transport cost, now unnecessary cost. As if for producing more, Singapore, now you may buy them, give them better citizen play me. So government want them partners like Santos, want them ExxonMobil can come up now. Come up want them quick intervention strategy, log giving relief flow, or people blame me. Fuel work flow yet PDL license area of PDL 5 from Moran, na PDL 2 Lokotubu and oil flow yet now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I want to appreciate the question by the member for Como Hulia. In his electorate, you have PDL 1, it straddles PDL 1, PDL 7, PDL 8, PDL 9, PDL 5 and 6, as well as about 20% of PDL 2. So he's pretty much informed on the oil and gas business and the issues pertaining to those oil and gas sector and the interests that our country has in those projects. I want to reply straight to the 4.27% the equity of PNG LNG that is asked to this Parliament and to our country. This is a parcel of equity that is held, the parcel of equity that is held by now Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, a total of 16.57% share is held by Kumul Petroleum, and at 2008 or 9 thereabouts, when the umbrella benefit sharing agreement was signed between the landowners from the 5 provinces of PNG LNG and the 5 provincial governments and PNG government, the then Prime Minister Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, at the insistence of the late Henderson Agiru, that a parcel of share be given to the 5 provinces because for the national interest we were in haste to deliver FID, and a key organic loan, the Oil and Gas Act was not dispensed with, especially landowner identification. But for the national interest, the provincial governments were rallied, the landowners were rallied to sign off on the agreement, and that triggered the issuance of final investment decision on the 8th of December 2009, if my memory is not wrong. So there's a key outstanding obligation to our 5 provinces and the landowners, more than 60,000 landowners of those 5 provinces. I want to say it has been outstanding since first gas flowed in 2014. 2014, the 5 provinces and the landowners would have been given the right to exercise purchase. Unfortunately, the UBS transaction that saw PNG government then acquired 10.01% share in oil sets, then oil sets, took precedent. So the then government used that 4.27% stake to then acquire 10.01 or 10.1% stake in oil sets. That is now.
We have a point of order. Member for Yalu Pangia.
The Prime Minister is misleading Parliament. He should know very well that this paper came into Cabinet. The only thing that guaranteed the loan from UBS for the shares in oil sets were the shares itself. Not the 4%, not any shareholding in Kumul Petroleum Holdings. And he is misleading Parliament. If he's got evidence, he should table it. He should just correct himself. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, I'll allow the Prime Minister to continue on the reply. Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Said about this particular transaction, Prime Minister is continuously misleading. When we got that loan, Mr. Speaker, before that loan, all our state assets, SOEs, were mortgaged to the Arabs. The only shares in oil sets was mortgaged for this UBS loan, not any other state-owned entities, including Comul Petroleum. So he is misleading Parliament, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member.
So now you should correct him, Mr.
Honourable
Speaker.
Member, like I've said,
this is on public interest.
I take note of your point of order. Your point of order is noted, and I will allow the Prime Minister to continue on and take from what you have raised. Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, the former Prime Minister knows exactly what he's talking about. That's why he has the audacity to stand up and interject with a point of order. Under his watch, the beneficiaries of this number one asset of our country that has paid more than 33 billion kina to our country since 2014, the landowners and the 5 provincial government have not been given the right to exercise purchase because the parcel, 4.27%, was parcel against the UBS transaction. A commission of inquiry established this point. So the landowners are the leader concerns who stands in the face of our government, stands in the face of government, in the face of people telling them, allow the gas to continue on flowing against mistakes done by those who claim to lead this country or past. You ask this question, where is that 10.1% say in oil sets today? Where is it? This country lost 3 billion kina, over 3 billion kina, over transaction that the former Prime Minister drank coffee with Peter Botton. I beg your pardon, I withdraw his name.
Honourable Member for Yalebu Pangia.
I know the Prime Minister is getting emotional.
Honourable Member, before you speak, I'd like to make this clear that please bring up a point of order. Let's not put a debate on what question that the members have
when the
raised.
Prime Minister is continuously misleading Parliament and the country, it is my duty, Mr. Speaker, to correct him. If he's got evidence, he should table it. He's just lying, Mr. Speaker. He knows very well that the landowners could not afford the price that they were given to pay for those shareholders. And our government discounted it to make it affordable for them. And yet still they could not raise the money. He should not be lying to this Parliament, Mr. Speaker. He knows very well what has happened. He should just transfer the shares. He should just transfer the shares to them as they are asking.
Honourable Member.
And he reduced it down to zeros for nothing. He was going to give it to them. Why can't you just transfer it and stop arguing and lying to the nation?
Honourable Member for Yalebu Pangia, like I've said earlier, I think you have repeated the same point of order that you have raised, and I've already put it in order for the Prime Minister to reply. So allow the Prime Minister to reply to the member for Como, who is waiting to the response from the Prime Minister. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Commission of Inquiry established that the member for Yalebu Pangia lied under oath. So when you talk about lying, an inquiry established you lied under oath. You have no right to lecture me on lying or not lying.
Honourable Prime Minister, we have a point of order from the opposition leader.
Deputy Speaker, as we engage in this light banter, we are missing the question raised by the honourable member. So if the Prime Minister could simply respond to the questions. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable opposition leader, your point of order is in order. I will allow the Prime Minister please respond direct to what the member have raised. Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I do apologize to the Chair and to the members of Parliament. The fact remains, since 2014, the gift from Grand Chief Somare was squandered. The opportunity to the landowners was never given in 2014. No opportunity was given to them. A couple of years later, a decision took place to reduce value of that gift by half, and that we place on record. only cabinet made this offer a couple of years later. But on record, when first gas arrived in Japan, no offer to purchase 4.27% was conferred to the 5 provincial governments and to the 60,000 landowners, and I thank them for the patience to hold this project up till this date. This was a gift to the 5 provinces and the landowners, and Grand Chief Somare, late Agiru, and myself, 3 of us, was on a boat owned by Peter Bata outside of Kokopo Beach Bungalow when this gesture was made, so that we could secure landowner signature before 8th of December 2009. Remember, Yalu Pangia, you were never involved in these things. You squandered our people's resources when it matters most. Sit down and have talk some other time. This project would have been closed if someone was not around. You squandered our people's resources. So no can talk to Plani. Sometimes sit down and enjoy lively in Parliament.
But as the most lying Prime Minister of this country, all the promises that you have made, Mr. Speaker, when you talk about squandering, prove it, provide evidence. Where did we squander? You know, you are not the only one who was the savior of that project. You know, some of us were involved in Kokopo as well. You are not the only landowner. LA is not the only landowner. Be fair to every other province in the country. Stop being selfish.
Honourable
That's
member.
what is happening in this country. You are taking all the benefits out of that project and not sharing with the country.
Honourable member for Yalibu Pangia, I acknowledge your point of order, but like I've said earlier, it's like you're debating on the question being raised, and your point has already been raised to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, we only have a few minutes. I would like you to go direct to the question the Honourable member have raised.
I do apologize once again. I'll come back to the, Honourable Speaker, Vice Minister and a member for Como asked a pertinent question. The 4.27% has not been fully discharged. Still, Kumul Petroleum has an asset. This government have asked for Kumul Petroleum to discharge, and a paper is being worked upon. Once the matter is presented to Cabinet, I'll be able to advise himself and all the other leaders as to what has happened. Kumul Petroleum has been informed to fully give Cabinet a full information package on what happened in 2014, what happened in the UBS mortgage of 4.27% to UBS, in the UBS transaction, where's the asset today, what has happened in the total value package of the 16.57% of Kumul Petroleum. So we're doing a holistic review into the entire asset owned by Kumul Petroleum, including making reference to what happened to the 4.27% in 2014. Once this full information is available, I'll be able to inform the landowners and everyone, and we'll be able to find a solution that gives respect that the landowners and the 5 provincial governments have not been given the right to purchase that 4.27% since 2014. It is now 12 years since first gas flowed, and the Kumul Petroleum has used the 4.27% to the benefit of everyone else, and we will inform the landowners when the decision is been made by Cabinet. On what happens and who will be the holder of this 4.27%, I want to advise all, especially the beneficiaries. This is not a legal entitlement in as far as Oil and Gas Act is concerned. Your legal entitlement is the 2%. This 4.27% was a gift by the then Somare government, and it's meant to enable sustenance. Our government will take decision as to what happens, and we don't want it to be just a cash grant to the province or to the landowners. An element of it must be saved for future generation, an element must be passed on to the beneficiaries and not through middlemen. So we'll structure it in a manner in which some element of cash pass through the beneficiaries. You are receiving beneficiary in terms of the 2% benefit, so the part to distribute is there already, but an element must be saved for future generation. In respect to review on the current PNG LNG
project agreement. Let me assure the member we'll get back on this matter upon advice from the government officials, whether there's a review clause, etc. If there is a review clause, we'll look into this one. In the fifth question that was asked, especially in relation to using oil and gas from our own production fields, I've sent word to Santos, who is the holder of many of our assets up there in PDL2, PDL5 and 6. I've also indicated to ExxonMobil for us to look at how we could utilize our own gas in country for processing in country. And that's something that I will also report back to this Parliament. But I thank Deputy Speaker for giving the opportunity. I do apologize to the member for Yalupangia. Sometimes you and me have these exchanges, but you know very well, I know exactly what happened in the 7 years I was minister in your cabinet.
Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, my question with a notice this morning is addressed to the good Minister for Treasury. But before I do, I see there's a lot of people who wish to ask questions after this question. I wonder if I could seek leave of the Chair to extend question time of Parliament.
Honourable members, the question is that the question time be extended. Those in favour, please stand. All seated. Absolute majority. Honourable member, you have the question time extended.
Thank you.
Like honourable member, I interrupt you. Usemi togi you pla pinisha. Planning member like asking questions, so team asking you now. Usat you reply. So team, kilo point. Usat you like working point of order. Thinking point of order straight na. You me raise him. You me no can debate na. Working question time go long plan na. You plus some plan on asking question. Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, very quickly, as I said, my question without notice is addressed to the good Minister for Treasury. Mr. Speaker, the people of this country are watching with deep concern as the escalating conflict in the Middle East is driving global oil prices towards and beyond the $100 per barrel mark. Now, although the primary effects of this conflict have not yet fully hit PNG's retail fuel pumps, the ICCC warns, as of 8th of March, that a significant impact is expected in April of 2026. A significant impact. Our neighbours are already taking. Thank you. Our neighbours are already taking decisive action to protect their citizens. And in the last few days, Mr. Speaker, Australia and New Zealand have coordinated with the International Energy Agency to prepare the release of strategic oil reserves to stabilise supply and prices. On the other hand, there's Thailand, who's moved halt fuel exports to prioritise domestic supply security, and governments across Asia are rolling out emergency measures, including rapid fuel price caps, tariff cuts, and expanded subsidies. Even before this effect hits our shores, on the 8th of March, Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, the ICCC announced significant retail price hikes, with diesel jumping over 21 toya, petrol increased by 13 toya, and Zoom by now at 5 kina 20 per litre, and kerosene for the rural dweller has jumped by 19 toya to about 4 kina per litre. Mr. Speaker, this price inflation is totally going to affect our ordinary citizens' livelihoods. Even maritime dwellers, particularly those who use Zoom for fishing and transportation, are going to be hit very hard. While the opposition acknowledges the Prime Minister has stated the government is monitoring the situation and also assured that there's a comprehensive package being worked on, Mr. Speaker, can the Treasurer inform this Honourable House specifically what immediate concrete interventions the government is implementing beyond monitoring and assuring a comprehensive package to alleviate the financial pressure on Papua New Guineans caused by global fuel prices
that will spike general volatility. The real effect of that is that the transportation of goods and services of food from Ley Port into the highlands is going to be hit on the shelves, being passed over to the consumer. And the second question, Mr. Speaker, is that given that ICCC, which falls under the Minister's oversight, has warned of a significant price lag, is Treasury making any urgent budgetary reallocations to prevent a cost of living surge next month? Those are my questions.
The Honourable Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and I thank the Deputy Opposition Leader for his two questions on what concrete interventions Marape Rossa government has to alleviate fuel prices, and also ICCC, if there are any urgent budgetary allocations. On that second query, Minister for Treasury does not have oversight over ICCC. That's been transferred. Mr. Speaker, can I just say that we all hope that this war ends quickly and fairly, and remember those that have died and are dying. Yes, we will be affected by this war. I'm trying to get this mic working, Mr. Speaker. As I was mentioning, Mr. Speaker, we will be affected by this war, and we do have people stranded in the Middle East. We're working to bring them home. But once again, global uncertainties are shaking our country, and once again, the steady hand of the Marape Rossa government will ensure that we will overcome all of these crises. And we will be responding in the same responsible manner that we did when we dealt with the crises of COVID, the Ukraine-Russia war, the Gaza war, and now this wider conflict in the Middle East. And we do have a very clear perspective. The Prime Minister, in fact, virtually the day after the war broke out, responded with the government's readiness to respond to any, not just fuel prices, but cost of living pressures. And I thank the Prime Minister for giving clear directions to the appropriate arms of government to be ready. Mr. Speaker, what concrete interventions do we have to alleviate fuel prices? We will take on the same interventions that we did back in 2022. When fuel prices jumped upwards during the Ukraine-Russian war, we responded with cuts in fuel excise and GST on fuel. This, if we all can recall, was part of our household assistance package back then, and that cost us 305 million kina in lost revenue. And as Prime Minister has already mentioned, and I would like to reiterate, this government stands ready to do so again if warranted. On the Deputy Opposition Leader's claims that fuel prices were increased on the 8th of March, my briefing is that there were no fuel price increases on that day, and that was because the 8th of March decision was based entirely on February prices before the war began. And as you correctly mentioned, the next ICCC determination will be on the 8th of April, and this will be the first time we may see the impact of the war on fuel prices. We'll closely monitor those prices and take whatever necessary actions that needs to be made. On that last point, Mr. Speaker, what urgent budgetary allocations might we consider? Again, Mr. Speaker, we would review our household assistance package. We anticipated global shocks, external shocks for 2026, and that's why we had increased our household assistance package to 1,010 million kina in tax cuts, as well as school subsidies, and of course cuts to GST on 13 household items. But of course, many of our trade stores are not passing that on, so clearly we need to work closely or closer with the ICCC and Customs and to fund them appropriately to make sure that we do enforce those changes that we made. Overall, and to conclude, Mr. Speaker, our household assistance package has been very generous for the people of Papua New Guinea, and that is not put in place just to deal with external shocks, but also to deal with our foreign exchange program to try and achieve keener convertibility. So in the last 4 years, our household package has increased to over 3 billion kina, specifically 3,332 million kina. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Kundiawa Kerawagi.
Thank you. Deputy Speaker for recognized the people of Kerawagi. My question without notice is directed to the Minister for Agriculture and Livestock. Before I direct my question, I take this time to congratulate Honourable Mugadigu for returning to the Parliament. After the long battle in court, the people of Kundian Gambag has been with the leader for a long time. To you, so thank you for coming. Congratulations. You have some couple of months. I wish you well to continue to serve the people of Kundian Gambag. My question without notice to Minister for Agriculture and Livestock. I thank you, my good Minister, for launching the Culture Natural Agriculture Development Plan some couple of days in Goroka. Mr. Speaker, this country, our government is emphasizing a lot of, setting up vision for exports in this country. We have two resources in this country. One is a renewable resource. The other one is a non-renewable resource. We have migrated into our mineral resources, coal and copper and oil, but we have a very big renewable resources in this country is crops and livestock. While our government is emphasizing on exports in this country, I think I was trying to ask the question to our good minister on the supply and market chain. This society is a substance-based society. We don't have mechanized farming in this country. We have talked about a lot on exports, but the supplies is, our supply chain is very limited. I want to ask our good minister, because of our smallholder-based products in this country, we need to increase our supply. Mr. Speaker, now you go to the supermarkets in our town, in Papido, SVS, Shop and Shop, TBL, you will ask them, you will see carrots, onion, broccoli, and some of the crops on the shelves. You ask them where this comes from, including our fruits, oranges, etc. They actually brought in from New Zealand and Australia. We have very great huge potential of this crop supposed to grow in this country. But the problem we have is we don't have a supply. Our supply chain is low. That's why we are not consistent in the volume and consistent in supply. Last time I bring CPL to Kerawagi, and they were saying they require 1,000 onion bags per week. Mr. Speaker, the question is, who's going to supply this? The people are going to grow the food to supply this are actually selling boy and smoke, and they are enjoying the market. We have them in market. So when you talk about exports,
Honourable Member, sorry for interrupting you. Can you go straight to your question?
My question is, do we have developed a plan or concept to actually increase our supply chain and consistency of supply for our smallholder? That's one. Number two, we have corporate agencies actually supporting the Department of Agriculture in this country, including the livestock development agencies, fresh produce development agencies, CIC, and several others. Do they also actually migrate into increase or develop a concept to support the agriculture department so it must become export-driven production in this country? Thank you.
Honourable Minister for Agriculture.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Before I answer questions from Member for Kerawagi, me too me like Simsa time lo to kamamas lo member blong Kundiaba Gembok lo come back long Parliament after the long court battle. Mr. Assistant Speaker, me amas lo good pla question lo member blong Kerawagi. On behalf of the Department of Agriculture, I'd like to thank you, Long.
Honourable Minister, may I interrupt you? Honourable members, like to inform the House that as other members have mentioned, the member for Kerawagi, Kundiawa Gambokol on his reinstatement by court. The Parliament hasn't received any paper from court yet, and from the Registrar of Court in regard to the decision that court has made, and his presence is not in the Parliament today. Your congratulation message can be after and when the Speaker made known to the floor of Parliament in regard to the member being reinstated by court. Honourable Minister, you continue your...
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My apologies. I would be making a ministerial statement in this Parliament probably next week, and that will help answer some of the questions that member has asked, the Assistant Speaker. But agriculture is the backbone of this country.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order. Opposition Leader, what's your point of order?
I think the good minister be just advised that the chair is taken by the Deputy Speaker, not an Assistant Speaker. He's done that, made the mistake 2 times already in his reply.
Opposition Leader, your point of order is in order. Honourable Minister.
Thank you. My apology again, Deputy Speaker. Bami karim statement kam long, Parliament long, tok long, agriculture. But on this note, me like talk thank you, Prime Minister, with my colleague ministers that went with me to Goroka on the 3rd of March to launch the Connect Agriculture. Connect Agriculture, but Connect want them, Connect PNG. So, me talk thank you long, Prime Minister, want them team that went up, and I will be bringing the ministerial statement to address all the sectors that we have a member for your consumption. We have 3 different ministries under agriculture, which is coffee minister, who looks after coffee. Department of Livestock, we have a Minister for Livestock looking after the Livestock Ministry, and we have the Minister for Oil Palm also that looks after the Oil Palm Ministry. We will put a collective statement together and present to this Parliament for the consumption of the people of Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Governor for Oro.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise to ask a series of questions without notice to the good Minister for Department of Provincial and Local Level Government. Mr. Speaker, the 2025 Governors Conference in Port Moresby built on the 30 resolutions from the 2023 Lay Governors Conference. Mr. Speaker, since the 1995 reforms, well-intentioned but poorly implemented, too much power has stayed in Waigani, leaving provinces as spectators in their own development and causing many of today's problems. In 2025, the governors unanimously affirmed to revert to the pre-1995 provincial government system to correct these wrongs, whereby we could retain what little good came out of those 95 reforms, but do away with that which was destructive. And all of that was crystallized by Dr. Thomas Webster and his technical task team, which presented a blueprint to deliver real change, which includes directing block grants, greater financial freedom, and simpler 3-tier government. Now, I commend the Minister for his energy and his strong leadership, and it gives us hope in the provinces. But the people are asking for an update. So therefore I ask this series of questions, Deputy Speaker. Has the NEC officially adopted the blueprint? What exact amendments to the Intergovernment Revenue Functions and Funds Act will ensure provinces receive unconditional block grants directly without financial department delays? And will the reforms, including the return to pre-1995 systems, give provincial councils the power, the PEC the power to appoint and manage their own public sector? When will this amendment come to Parliament, if it does? And what is the Ministry's firm timetable for final reading of these organic law changes, if there's any? Mr. Speaker, the governors have acted with the 2023 resolutions and the 2025 affirmation, and the task force team has delivered the blueprint. The Minister has led strongly, so we are merely asking for an update on this. Thank you very much.
Minister for Provincial Affairs.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Through you, let me thank the Honourable Governor for Oro for very important series of questions that he has raised. And this issue relates to reform agenda that government is undertaking to reform provincial government systems. However, taking note of the importance of this issue and also
being mindful of the fact that this matter is with NEC, and NEC has to make its own deliberations and decisions. And in view of the limited time that is available, may I ask to you that I take note of these questions and present a detailed presentation tomorrow after the question time. I thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Sinasina Yangumo.
Deputy Speaker, I want to, in my capacity as the Shadow Minister for International Trade and Investments, direct my question to the Minister for International Trade and Investments, the Honourable Richard Maru. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I wonder if the Minister is aware that a serious unintended consequence is emerging with the establishment of SEZ in urban areas, such as the Pagai Hill area within the heart and soul of Port Moresby. There is a proposal to put in commercial office developments, which in itself is welcome, needed development, and we appreciate that. However, the proposed use of those commercial office complexes within the SEZ zone has become an issue of big concern. And I would like to maybe ask the Treasurer to also take note of this and study its implications, but the Minister for International Trade can address this directly to my question. And the adverse consequence of the establishment of SEZ in that particular type of area and type of areas within the heart of urban centers is this. The SEZ effectively creates a tax-free zone, a tax haven. So when you start building office complexes, businesses will migrate their headquarters into those zones, into those SEZ areas where commercial office complexes are established. They will rent a space, put their headquarters in there, and claim the tax benefits, the benefits of the tax-free zone. Now, in a city like Port Moresby, there is a possibility, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that all the big businesses in Port Moresby will rent an office space in that place, move all their headquarters in there and file their tax returns from there and claim tax exemption. Now imagine a scenario where all your big companies in Port Moresby, headquartered here in Port Moresby, move into that space. What's going to be the impact on our tax collection? A matter of great concern for the Treasurer. So this is a question, I don't have the answers, but it's a question that's emerged within the business community. We are going to see serious erosion of taxes imposed on companies headquartered in Port Moresby when they move into the SEZ areas, set up the offices in there and file their tax returns from there. So the question may be right, it may not be right, but it's serious enough to warrant the Minister's attention. So I bring it to his attention. Perhaps he might address us here to see whether there's such a risk there or not. If it's not, fair and good for all of us, but if the risk is there, what's he going to do about it? To protect the state's revenue. That's number one. Number two is normally SEZs are established for the benefit of SEZs are given to manufacturing companies who manufacture for export, and then they bring in foreign exchange into the country. SEZs elsewhere in the world where they create SEZs are not normally available to rank-and-file trading companies who don't export but do local trade in local currency. That's not normally the case. So is there a connection between the way we've deployed SEZs in Papua New Guinea, making it available to all trading houses, and now we run up against the risk that I have raised in my first question? In other words, should we now be looking at narrowing down the availability of SEZ to only manufacturing and exporting companies rather than general commercial enterprises? Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for International Trade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the good member for this very important question. Firstly, when you talk about companies moving in and renting office spaces, the companies moving in to rent office spaces are not exempt from any taxes. They pay the full taxes. It is only the developers that are exempted for only 10 years. It is not something that goes on and on forever to try and encourage investors to come in and invest in these very prime areas of the city. Paga Hill has been around for 40 years and no one invested. Without incentives, no one will come. This country is a very difficult place to attract investors right now. The conditions are not easy. That's the truth. That's why we are offering incentive in prime land so we can get development to transform the landscape and the skyline of our city. It is not our purpose that this will continue. We are looking at AZ right across the country. East Nubian, we are looking at Finsafen, we are looking at Medang. So this thinking that we're only looking at Port Moresby is not correct. We're also looking at around the central province, not only within the city. So companies who go and rent offices are not exempt from taxes. I just want to make that clear. Secondly, the incentive is only for the developers who spend money. Recently we launched Paradise, Paga Hill Paradise, and we got 2 other buildings coming up, and we are starting to transform Paga Hill and the city. We've also approved the, Mr. Speaker, the old wharf, which has been lying there doing nothing for the last 10 years. We are trying to get investors in there, create jobs, create employment, because this is what this country needs right now. So no one is being exempted by just moving over for an office. Only the developers are exempted, because we want to attract investments. We haven't been able to get investments in these spaces for 30, 40, 50 years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a supplementary from the Deputy Opposition Leader.
Deputy Speaker, is it probable that the good minister could publish the actual conditions that the developer is enjoying, and also how much investment this developer has brought in, and how many jobs in the long term is this developer creating for the Papua New Guinean?
The Honourable Minister.
Firstly, like mining and petroleum companies, construction phase takes quite a while. You have to raise the capital and build over a number of years. And I don't have an issue coming to Parliament and telling you how much has been invested and how many jobs we've created so far in Paga Hill if you want that. I can give it to you tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Medang, my apology to you that our question time has already been lapsed. The question time has already been lapsed, Honourable Member. I'm sorry, you can reserve your supplementary for tomorrow. I can recognize you and you can ask the question tomorrow. Honourable Members, I acknowledge the presence in the public gallery of a retired private Daure Kisu, a Fujiwisi veteran, Fujiwasi veteran who served as a carrier to the Australian troops and eventually enlisted into the Papuan Infantry Battalion in 1943. On behalf of the National Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to him. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the Parliament. The Honourable Minister for Higher Education.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I ask leave to respond to a question asked by the good member for Abao. Thank you.
Honourable Member, you will seek leave from the chair.
Sorry. I seek leave from you, Deputy Speaker, to respond to a question asked by the good member of Abao, from Abao.
Leave granted. You may.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Mitok, thank you, Member Abao, asking good question that will help me enlighten the Parliament and the country of the pressing need, and of course, the need for us to have bipartisan support to fix the education sector. Mr. Speaker, as I promised the House last week, I rise to present to this Honourable House a defining policy shift for our nation's education system, the 166 School Restructure Reform. This statement serves as the definitive roadmap for our transition, outlining our legal mandates, our strategic vision, and the 2025 minimum service standards that will guide every district and provinces in this historic and essential journey. Mr. Speaker, number one, the mandate, mission, and constitutional alignment. Our mandate is not merely a policy directive. It is a duty stated in the Constitution of Papua New Guinea, specifically the directive principle of integral human development. We are legally and morally bound to ensure every citizen can reach their full potential. Our mission, as outlined in the National Education Plan 2020 to 2029, is to provide 13 years of quality, universal education and training. This reform represents a harmonized alignment with our national and global aspirations, and this SDG 4 reaffirms our international commitment to inclusive and equitable quality education for all. Vision 2050 establishes the foundation for our national progress by prioritizing human capital development as its first pillar, supported by the PNG Education Transformation Vision 2075, which aims to lay the groundwork for a century of knowledge-based prosperity. And MTDP4 directly advances this vision through strategic priority SPA4, quality education and skilled human capital. Sector strategy implemented through the education sector. A development plan with a goal of creating educated, skilled, and innovative citizens. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people that are not skilled. Crucially, the recent NEC approved Education Quality Infrastructure Program, or in short, EQ PNG, complements the Connect PNG Infrastructure Program, transforming our new economic corridors from mere transport routes into vibrant corridors of learning and opportunity. Mr. Speaker, point number two, the 166 framework. Plenty of time you may RM 166. What does the 166 mean? The 166 model comprising 1 year, so the 1 stands for 1 year of preparatory, the 6 stands for 6 years of primary, that's grade 1 to grade 6, and the other 6 stands for the 6 years of secondary, grade 7 to grade 12. And that is the vehicle for a national transformation. So this 166 reform is firmly anchored in law and policy, supported by NEC decisions number 315 of 2016 and number 232 of 2020, and is the core delivery mechanism for our national plans. Number three, the rationale. Mr. Speaker, we must be honest about what we have been. For decades, our educational structures were characterized by discrimination and intolerance. We have operated under a model that did not care for all of our people, a model that was designed that was going to result in failure for future human capital needs. The evidence of our past failures is clear and undeniable. For example, number one, human resource wastage. We treated our children as waste or wastage rather than assets. Our enrollment data shows a pyramid-shaped attrition rate where over 437,000 students start in prep, the one, but only approximately 33,400 reach grade 12 or complete grade 12. B, the exam trap. Our ill-conceived structures promoted only those who passed national exams, regarding them as the only ones fit to develop the country, while the majority who did not pass were branded as failures, dropouts, unwanted, or social outcasts. Systematic rejection. Mr. Speaker, we created a structure where millions of our youth, the very backbone of our future, were rejected by the system before they could even find their potential. At grade 8, students are being dropped out at age 14 and age 16 at grade 10. The survival or success rate, that is in brackets, the percentage of students who start school and survive until they complete the full cycle of education, end of bracket. Data for students who started preparatory in 2014 to complete grade 12 in 2026 is a call to conscience. Let me highlight a few glaring data of the referred cohort. Our journey begins with hope, yet only 50.8% of our children never even reach grade 8. We are losing one in 2 children before they finish their primary school. By grade 10, the survival rate falls to 27.7%. Only 1 in 4 students remain. Finally, only 12.8% of those who started prep will ever complete grade 12. In other words, our survival rate between preparatory and grade 12 is 12.8%. Mr. Speaker, this means 87 out of every 100 children somehow disappear from our classrooms. They do not leave because they lack talent. They leave maybe because of finance. But even with the free education, could be pocket allowances, we don't know what it is, but that's probably one of the reasons. Schools are too distant. The main one, there is not enough space in our classrooms or schools. The other one, lack of teacher motivations. Others include social issues, or they are crushed at the exit points at grade 8 and grade 10. These are our future doctors, teachers, and engineers. And we are losing them to a systematic rejection. Mr. Speaker, over the next decade, 2026 to 2036, 2.5 to 3 million young Papua New Guineans will enter adulthood uneducated. 2.5 to 3 million young Papua New Guineans will enter adulthood uneducated, unskilled, and unemployable if we do not make radical changes to our education system. So today, we say under the Mara Peroso government, through the 166 policy, no more. We must change the course. Our vision, a system of choice, inclusion, and excellence. Mr. Speaker, the 166 reform is not just a change in numbers. It is a change in our national soul. We are building a structure that is just, fair, and considers every citizen vital for national development. Our goal is simple: zero human wastage. We are moving decisively toward the universalization of education. Every child must complete grade 12. To achieve this, we are moving or removing the barriers of the past and building bridges to the future. 3 points. Number one, one entry, one exit. We are creating a seamless journey from preparatory to grade 12 with one entry point and one exit point. No can out not number grade 8 or 10, no got. Going straight lo 1, finish straight lo grade 12. Number two, ending the dropout culture. By introducing a single national examination for monitoring purposes at grade 12, we are eliminating the high stakes of grade 8 and grade 10 examinations that served as premature exit ramps for our youth. This facilitates a continuous and uninterrupted 13-year education cycle. And see education pathways. The core of our reform is the creation of multiple learning streams that cater to every student's unique abilities. All the beginning, they're unique. So we're creating a system that fits to cater for all of them. We are moving beyond a one-size-fits-all model to ensure that excellence in academics, technical trades, and the arts is equally valued. And of course, sports. By significantly expanding vocational education and training, we are absorbing students into technical trades, dignifying practical skills alongside academic scholarship. This ensures every path leads to a productive future. Mr. Speaker, while our goal is to retain every child in the formal system from prep to grade 12, we recognize that life circumstances can interrupt a student's journey. For this reason, we are simultaneously strengthening our flexible, open distance education, or FORWARD program. FORWARD is not an alternative pathway. It is a parallel and equally important pathway with a 166 vision. For those who must step out of a formal education or formal classroom due to employment, due to circumstances or geographical barriers, FORWARD provides a dignified and flexible pathway to complete their education. By integrating FORWARD more closely into our high schools and vet centers, the mainstream curriculum, and linking it to our digital transformation goals, we ensure that no citizen is ever permanently locked out of the education system. FORWARD is our guarantee that the door to grade 12 and beyond is always open. Mr. Speaker, while we build a system of inclusion, we are also building a system of innovation. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, education is designed to cultivate a mindset of problem solving and creativity. We are investing 50 million kina in national schools of excellence every year. This will forge global pathways to expand overseas scholarships from 165 to 1,000 students annually through public-private partnerships. Mr. Speaker, under STEM education, we are building a nation of innovators. Point number 5, school mapping and clustering. Mr. Speaker, we have officially moved from guesswork to data-driven work. Our national school mapping and clustering exercise has provided our entire education landscape, ensuring that every kina is backed by evidence. So we have a GPS-coordinated system that controls almost all schools to make clustering a logical reality. Our central secondary school now serves as the hub, providing the specialized oversight and shared resources that support surrounding feeder primary school. Mr. Speaker, because we have mapped these gaps, The 11.8 billion ACUBE PNG program is not a broad spend, but a definitive investment. We have ready-to-use standardized architectural designs for classrooms and teacher housing paired with phased infrastructure schedule. This roadmap tells every district exactly what to build and when, ensuring they remain fully compliant with the 2025 minimum service standards. Number 6, ACUBE PNG and the 2025 minimum service standards. Mr. Speaker, structural change without financial backing is merely a wish. To drive this vision, the government in its wisdom and to put show its further commitment to education has launched the Education Quality and Infrastructure Program, ACUBE, valued at 11.8 billion. ACUBE is the social infrastructure counterpart to the Connect PNG program. It ensures every district and provinces meets clear funded benchmarks through standardized designs. The strategic implementation of ACUBE is structured through 4 components to ensure target delivery. Component number one, secondary school expansion program. Number 2, or component 2, primary schools expansion. Number 3, quality and standards, learning resources. Number 4, teacher welfare and health. In 2026, the Education Quality Improvement Program, initiative supported by a significant, and I must thank Prime Minister and Cabinet for a support of 300 million allocation that will focus on transforming the education landscape across 6 pilot provinces: the Western Province, Eastern Highlands, Enga Province, Jiwaka Province, Hela Province, and Western Highlands, as well as NCD and Lay City. This funding is specifically designed to bridge the infrastructure and quality gap as these provinces spearhead the phasing out of selection in grade 8 in 2025 and grade 10 in 2027. The next provinces to start implementation in 2026 are Madang, East Sepik, Central, West New Britain, Southern Highlands, New Ireland, NCD, Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Manus, Northern, Morobe, and East New Britain. These cohorts will go on to phase out grade 10 selection in 2028. Milne Bay, Gulf, and Sundown are the last 3 provinces to phase out grade 8 selection in 2027. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure alone is not enough. To meet this transformation, teachers must be trained and recruited to meet the demand of increasing enrollment. And you would have seen on the paper and on social media, we've already advertised for massive recruitment for our teachers. Mr. Speaker, the 166 reform, fueled by the 11.8 billion ACUBE program, reinforced by a strengthened food system and driven by our commitment to STEM excellence, is the bridge from a past of exclusion to a future of universal opportunity and global competitiveness. Mr. Speaker, the ACUBE PNG program I just highlighted will help in improving our survival rates, but will not solve the infrastructure needs of every school. Therefore, the Department of Education has devised a plan for all levels of government to be equal partners. This requires a bipartisan support. Each level of government, Ogada member and the governors, each level of government will have its own educational responsibility according to what we propose as the minimum service standards. Hence, the MS is demarcated as follows. Local level governments are going to be responsible for the oversight of early childhood education, and the standard is to have 1 per ward. District level administration is responsible for managing primary schools, and minimum at least 1 per ward, of course including secondary schools and TVET centers. TVET, of course, 1 each per district and 1 Ford per or each LLG, while utilizing DSIP and development partner funding. Provincial governments are responsible for high schools, 1 per LLG, university centers, and like I said yesterday, with the use of technology, online learning, you just have to have a university center in your place and your kids can go to school in the village or in the district. And technical colleges, 1 each per province, through PSIP funding, ensuring institutions meet quality standards. The national level is responsible for national institutions, and that includes national schools of excellence, inclusive education resource centers, and food. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, I now appeal and urge every governor and member of this House to align your PIP, PSIP, DSIP funding to support the implementation of the 166 reform. Let us ensure our investments build a system that is just, durable, and innovative. Plani piginini lusum skulia. That should really bother us. We must all put our hands together, create a space and access for all our kids, all of them, to go to school. We are no longer creating a nation of rejects. We are building a nation of empowered citizens, skilled innovators, and global thinkers. Mr. Speaker, before I end the statement, I thank the Prime Minister and Government for prioritizing education and demonstrating a very firm and strong commitment to this sector. Thank you, and God bless.
Honourable members, I suspend Parliament for lunch, and Parliament resume at 2 p.m.
It was one of the most distressing scenes.